the big things within games seem to be casual games on the internet, casual games for cell phones, and some pretty heavy-duty, massively multiplayer games on PCs and on devices like Xbox or the PlayStation. So where do you see gaming going in the future? Where do you see it in the next 6 months or year or whatever, but where do you see its direction going right now?
Well, I think if we look at the video game business today, it sort of looks like what happened with the Coke and Pepsi wars, where you had a few big companies slugging it out, and then all of a sudden the market just fractured. And here you have had a few major console manufacturers dominating the video game business: Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. And now their installed base of hardware is half of what it was before. It's about 80, 90 million units of hardware out there versus 180 million units. At the same time, the internet is becoming ubiquitous. There's over 70% penetration in the United States, numbers almost as compelling in Europe, and it's growing exceedingly rapidly in Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. So if we look at it as there are the console games, the console world, and then we have the world of online gaming. And in those two worlds, I think you'll see more and more console games either being low-end casual stuff or big blockbuster stuff. And in the online world, you're going to see further market segmentation and fracturing, and that presents incredible opportunities for entrepreneurs here in Israel.
What are the legal implications of being a gaming company in the internet world with an international, worldwide distribution?
Well, I think now that you are using the internet as your distribution platform, as opposed to selling someone a disc or a cartridge that they're playing on their machine at home, you have to deal with the fact that you have to sign up a parent or a child to play the game. And fundamentally, you have to deal with the regulatory overlay, whether it's in the United States, or in Israel, or in France, or in England, or in Japan, or China, that very strictly regulates how you can interface with a consumer.
You talked in your lecture about content clearance. Could you explain what that term means and
Sure.
what the process or what's involved there?
Let me use a kind of a classic example, which is in the United States you have the Empire State Building. And you would think that putting the Empire State Building in a game wouldn't be a big problem, that you could use it as an identifying landmark that you're doing something in New York. Well, in the United States, architectural monuments and buildings are entitled to copyright protection. They're also entitled, if they've acquired certain significance in the mind of the consumer, trademark protection. So, ironically, you may not be able to use the Empire State Building in your game unless you actually get a clearance from the people who hold the rights to that piece of property. So, getting clearances to whether it's public figures or actors or really elements that we would think of normally in the public domain, such as prominent works of architecture or cities, increasingly require clearance. I also think you want to be very careful about your terms of use and your privacy policy, and that also your end user license agreement. And again, wherever you're dealing with people in different territories, that you get good advice, good counsel on what you can't do and can do. And you probably want to be careful and pick compliance with the toughest jurisdiction as opposed to the most weak.
Great, thanks. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.